CRYSTRON is now a tier 1 deck, and I used it in the World Championship Qualifier Stage 2 with an 88.88% win rate, aka I lost one duel, which will be in this video. First of all, is CRYSTRON really a tier 1 deck? I think CRYSTRON at the moment is taking advantage of a rock, paper, scissors meta. If we click on the top 100 decks here, we'll see a graphic showcasing that CRYSTRON is tied with Blue Eyes for being the second best deck, with Snake Eye Fiendsmith being the number 1. But then something is interesting here, because Fiendsmith Control, only one player played it, even though this is an incomplete totality of all the decks that were used, but on the tier list, it is listed as tier 1. And that is where the rock, paper, scissors comes into play. What I've always said about Fiendsmith Control is that it would only be top tier as long as the Bestial cards are relevant. Well, the Bestial cards needing light and dark monsters to banish, we have Snake Eye Fiendsmith, Branded, Blue Eyes, and Memento, which the Bestials are all great against. But then CRYSTRON is the big issue now, with it being a prevalent top tier deck, which is completely screwing over the Bestials. Thus, I believe a lot of players played Fiendsmith Control earlier into the event, and then once a lot of people switched on over to CRYSTRON, that is when Fiendsmith Control completely plummeted. And with less Bestials in the meta, that allowed other people to also play Blue Eyes. And then with Snake Eye Fiendsmith being the most powerful deck and nothing to contest it, which would be Fiendsmith Control, it then ran away with the number 1 spot of the top 100 decks and the most total spots within the top 10. So I'd say that CRYSTRON at the moment is in a good spot, as it counters the counter to Snake Eye Fiendsmith, thus making Snake Eye Fiendsmith more powerful, but that also means that CRYSTRON is also a very powerful deck. For a top deck list, I would recommend you copying one of the top 10 global builds here. So you can see here, top 10, we'll just open up both of them. Here are good options for you. This is from an Asian user here, something like this, copy that, or you could copy this one from Gimlet within the top 10 global. Now for my build, I chose to not run Citry, which I do recommend you should be playing. I was just testing out, maxing out on Tristaros and seeing how well I could do without Citry, as I try to maximize the amount of non-engine that I could play in the deck through Droplet, Crossout, Called By, Droll. And I mainly want to use Droll because I'm going to be using it against the opponent's Maxi or Fuelos, as I'm playing Fuelos myself, and Maxi and Ash Blossom, plus the Millennium Engine, which is absolutely nuts. Now the Millennium Engine is also another big reason that really hurt Fiendsmith Control in the World Champ Qualifier, because if we check it out on the website here, clicking on Fiendsmith Control, their main monster they love to summon is a Wave King Caesar. Now, notably, the only deck that was prevalently using the Millennium Engine was Snake Eye Fiendsmith, but we already had a good matchup against them with their Fiendsmith Control. As soon as CRYSTRON came up out of freaking nowhere and was also using Millennium, this is where they could summon a Senjin, a Golem, and a Doom Dragon, all without the Wave King Caesar being able to negate, and then it gets pushed into the back row. So straight up, if your question is on whether you should use the Millennium Engine or not, you could see right here, Millennium, 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 all within the top 100 global, with this one Mad Lad using Horus instead. But there's also a ban list that's coming out possibly tonight, where Zombie Vampire or the Millennium cards may possibly get hit due to how powerful these cards are. Now, whatever happens with the ban list, this deck is still going to be great. Enjoy the gameplay. Let's go. Let's hop in at 17k. Ooh, we have 2 combo starters. We have our Senjin plus Foolish Burial. So ideally, what we want to be doing is we want to, with the Millennium Engine, set up a monster negate. That is a Maxi, mate. I do not think so. Ash, negate. Now, how we could do so with our Senjin engine, what we want to do is set up the Photon Lord for a monster negate, or he could just scoop it up. We could then normal summon Fuelos, go into a Little Knight, and then Foolish Burial, send Smiger, banish, search our deck. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. Let's hop into another one. We go in second. We have a Board Breaker, Ash negate, draw and Lockbird mate. We play a ton of non-engine. Ooh, Unicorn. Okay, we definitely do not want to Ash that. Keep our toggle off so we're not revealing anything. And let's hit him with the Droll. Now, unfortunately, he does get to look at our extra deck banishing something, but that is okay. We play 2 of the level 7 CRYSTRON Synchro, so we should be okay. Not really sure what he should actually banish here that we will care about. My Doom Dragon? What the? Okay. You're gonna be building a field under Droll or something? We also have our Ash and Forbidden Droplet. Ooh, Lacrima. We're not going to Ash that. Let's just keep it toggled off. We're gonna wait for Requiem. Now, because it is a Lacrima normal summon, he could still will reborn the Engraver, which is quite unfortunate, but this is still a good Ash. Ash, negate. All right, so he's got Requiem, Crimson Tear, Engraver here, reborn the Engrave, but then where are you going with this? You making just a Little Knight sequence with Engraver and Crimson Tear Engrave? That's not going to be doing anything. It's only 2 bodies. You cannot go into your Desiree. Punk, Rising Scale, all under Droll. You're making plays. Banishing Punk Xiamen? Sure. Well, I am out of disruption, so I'm just going to wait until my turn. I think I'm just going to walk away at this point. Not a good start to this video. Okay, what are we dealing with here? What is this? Apollo, Unicorn, Jam Fever, Monster Negate, 2 Monster Negates. We have Forbidden Droplet, Mate. So we want to send 2 cards to the grave at least. They do have a Cash Tier of Birth, though, which could be a problem. So I'm thinking of doing is we can inclusion, add from the deck. I do want to play around the Cash Tier of Birth. We only have 2 bodies in graveyard at the moment. So let's add from the deck. I think what we want to be getting in, if we grab the Sulfador and he banishes it, he thinks that he then banished our main combo, but we only have 2 Sulfadors in total. So maybe it's best to, I think I'll just grab a Smyger instead. As soon as I Forbidden Droplet, he is going to trigger the Birth and banish 3 cards in the grave. So what I think we're going to do, let's just shotgun the Droplet and keep the Sulfador in hand and follow up, pop our inclusion. All right. Let's send the Sulfaneer and Smyger here. We'll keep the inclusion and the Sulfador. Get negated. Negate, negate. And then Birthmate. Yup, Birth me. Banish the Smyger, the Sulfaneer. Then I have full combo with Sulfador here. All right, perfectly fine with me. He doesn't even know that I have this card. Sulfador, come forth. Pop the inclusion. That delays his Apollo or Jam Fever. He's got nothing. Surely. He will get to trigger the Unicorn to banish another card from our extra deck. He already banished a Doom Dragon. All right, let's resolve this. Sulfador, trigger here, send from the deck. As Unicorn is now going to be taking a gander at the extra deck. What are you ripping, boy? My Cyber Dragon Infinity. Okay, let's get our Sulfaneer and a Thisfern. Thisfern's going to be searching our deck for a discard for the Sulfaneer. Come to us from the deck. We'll grab a Smyger since we have not activated it yet. And let's now Sulfaneer, discard Smyger here. This will give us access to our level 2 tuner. Make sure to pop ourselves. Let's summon Tristaros, level 2 tuna. And let's now just go through the motions. Level 7 Synchro. We're going to be able to add a card back to our hand. You've not committed to our normal summon yet. I am only playing 1 copy of a Thisfern. You have not used up our normal summon, so we need the Tristaros in graveyard. Let's now Tristaros, pop our Synchro, and this is the big choke point of the deck. This summons 2 bodies from the deck, an additional body through the effect of the level 7 Synchro being popped. We'll grab a tuner plus a non-tuner here. You could also summon 2 level 5s, but we did lose our Cyber Dragon Infinity. Trigger the CRYSTRON, as we then reborn another body. Jam Fever, you're negated. What are you doing? What? Hold up. Maybe he doesn't want to be annoyed of it continually asking. Rising card being sent to the grave triggering for something? I don't think so. Let's reborn back our, if we Tristaros, we could actually go for a Quarion play. Quarion is going to be the way. Let's clear up the field, yes? Quarion it up. 2 tuna plus our non-tuna. Quarion with our animation. And now we get to banish 3 monsters from the field or grave. Say goodbye to the Apollo. No more to the Unicorn. And banish the Fever. Full field banish. So that's 6,200 life. We have inclusion, which could reborn in attack position. 5,600 with our level 7 Synchro CRYSTRON. And that's it. Normal summon for game. Easy win. Just like that. What a fool. Lethal damage. Ooh, IFK thinking we were going to lose that. All right, let's go. Going second. We have a fool loss here. I'm quite happy with our hand. We have plays for days. So you know what? I'm just going to drop a lazy food loss in the standby phase. If you want to end your turn, I have an anti-hand trap at normal summon Tristaros, make plays with the Sulfador. Let's do it. Illusion of Chaos. Grabbing a Magician's Souls here, sure. Get Seeking. Diablo Star, summon from the hand. The Illusion, summon from the hand. Neither will result in us being able to draw with our food loss, unfortunately. Could draw up to 2 cards with that Magician's Souls. Activating right now. Whoa, okay, we got a Voiceless Voice deck. Draw 1. Sending Magician's Souls for the Diablo Star? How good is your hand? You know, I guess you don't want to link off the Magician's Souls because of the food loss, so that could make sense. Or you have 2 good hand traps at least. Deception Sinful. Are you going to commit with the Deception into at least a Sylvia? You are searching. Goodbye to Diabel. LZ, again, another special summon. 3 special summons under food loss, and no draw for thee. Passing. Just like that? Okay, be my guest. Ooh, okay, we got our Droll now. We have Call by the Grave Droll, which both stop Max C and or food loss. If I normal my Tristaros, we could chain to them activating. We need the Sulfador to pop the Tristaros, though. I think it's probably just best if we just instead normal Smyger. I do have a Call by the Grave. If I didn't have Called by, then maybe the Tristaros could be a better idea if they tried to disrupt us in some way. And let's just link this off, and we now get to be searching for our inclusion. What's worth noting here with our Clockwork Knight on the field, what the, oh yeah, burn and gain life. Okay, who cares? What's worth noting with the Clockwork Knight is it helps us summon a Little Knight. So with the Smyger, grabbing an inclusion from the deck, and already having access to our Sulfador, as long as we don't summon the Sulfador through its own effect, we're not locked into machine-type monsters only. So what would be ideal with the Sulfador is it's great to get into the grave through the Millennium cards or through our Sulfaneer. Sulfaneer special summon effect does not lock us out of summoning a Little Knight, so it's a really good way to get the board breaks going. Come forth, Sulfaneer is here. Let's pop it, and let's now trigger the effect to summon from the deck. Whenever we summon, we're going to just be turning into a Little Knight. So let's just grab a Thisfern. Since we could use its effect in grave to search, we already used the Smyger, so why not? Free search on top of our Little Knight play. You got something or what? Let me go. Come on. What? Morian. Flip a face-up monster face down. That is special summon, sure. Okay, goodbye to our Little Knight play. I guess we now commit into the Sulfador, which is fine. The threat of Little Knight was enough to deal with his form of disruption. We now have our Sulfador trigger, send from the deck. Normally you send a Sulfaneer and a Thisfern here, but instead, since we have already used the Smyger and the Sulfaneer, I'm going to send a Tristaros, and then the trap is also going to be ideal. So we could level 7 Synchro, add the trap back to our hand. We now have the trap in circulation. Let's use the effect of inclusion, where otherwise we normally use the Sulfaneer to get the level 2 tuner here. What do you got? You got nothing. Nothing. Tristaros is out, and now we are ready to whip out our Synchro. Level 7 CRYSTRON Synchro, as we can now add back our trap. Now, even though we didn't Little Knight, 9,500 life is going to be too much to lethal, so we really just want to be setting up for the next turn. Let's just establish immense board presence here, as we now could pop 1 to 2 cards of the cluster. And let's now, for the big effect, this is where you would possibly save your Ash for. You got something? Ash? I will finger your Ash. Do it. What do you have? You actually have something? Hello? Nibiru? Well, we can't finger the Nibiru. Shoot. Okay, the Thisfern stays in the field. We completely lose our effect of Tristaros. It has to destroy a Synchro. Oh my Jesus. The big rock is here. This is fine. This is good that we grabbed a cluster. He didn't stop us from setting up with that at least. We have Droll, Called by, Cluster, 6,500 life, 2 bodies on the field. We should be able to survive this. We should be okay. We could cluster, pop the Deception if it tries to search. And on his first search, we'll just Droll him. All right, he has the Holodazamina already. So if we YOLO Cluster, pop the Deception, then the Holodazamina Azumina should fizzle. I'm doing it. Let's go for it. Why not? Pop it. All right, now let's hope this fizzles. Otherwise, he has another Deception card in the hand. Let's return back our inclusion. All Azumina successfully fizzled. Great. Okay. What's that final card in your hand? We know it's not a Deception, so he's gonna add back the Hallowed Azumina. I don't see a good reason to banish this. It would stop it from adding back. So if we instead use our Called By on something else, I think that'd be better. Sure, Hallowed Azumina is not a hard one to return, but he needs a Deception to even use it. Wanted Seeker. He's now gonna draw. Oh shoot. The chance of him drawing into a Deception is gonna be quite rare, so we should be okay here. Let's hit him with the Droll. Why not? Droll it up. If he can go into Rasalago, he now can't search the deck, which he shouldn't be able to. What? No way. He top decked another Deception. He can't use it to search, though. Okay. Oh, my. He can't go into Rasalago. Sylvia. We have Call By the Grave for Sylvia. So we could finger the Sylvia, and we are fine. That's right, boy. You under Droll. There's Wanted Seeker. Puts the card to the bottom of the deck. You don't even shuffle the deck. So Deception to the bottom of the deck, then he draws another one. Sylvia. Tribute this card. Finger the Sylvia. And we are in a good spot. We could negate Sylvia whenever we want. Not an issue. And it has this other effect is inflict double battle damage. We don't care about that. The Morian resetting here is actually quite annoying, as the Sylvia did enable the reset of the flip now. But as suspected, we're going to survive this turn. So good for us. We're going to have some other plays. We're going to have Tristaros, which will be able to search whatever we want. And we could finger the Sylvia. We just have to play around them flipping our monster face down. All right, we could Sulfador, Sulfaneer. We have everything here. Deception is just resetting itself back onto the field. Not an issue. Another Sulfaneer. Now, Sulfaneer cannot discard Sulfaneer to summon itself. Let's summon a Tristaros now. Shotgun it, so if they have anything activatable, we could chain summon from the deck whenever we want. And let's now search our deck for a card that the Sulfaneer and Grave can discard. It's important to note that the Sulfador and Tristaros are the two cards that lock you into machine-type monsters. And it's the Tristaros effect of summoning two bodies from the deck, not the one summon from the deck. You could still go into non-machine, like Little Knight. So ideally, you hold on to the Sulfador and the Tristaros effect until after you do as much summoning with other plays. Sulfaneer, Reborn, pop itself here, and let's now summon from the deck. We could set up a potential negate for the Morian mates, and if we summon the Sulfador, it can trigger on summon actually without locking us into machine-type monsters, but I don't want them to be flipping up anything. Let's just go into the Sulfaneer. Woo, okay. Morian, sure. Morian up, and now we get to Tristaros in response. You denied our level 7 Synchro by then enabling Sylvia trying to negate the Tristaros mate. Not today. Finger the Sylvia. Be gone. Very nice. This is working out. I'm really liking I just feel like I'm in control when playing CRYSTRON. The Tristaros chain effect to whatever they do, I am loving it. And that is the scoop. We had so many more plays from there. Let's go. Ooh, we at 20K now. Nice. 20K regional qualifier. Get back in it to win it. Ooh. All right. Let's shotgun our Tristaros before they potentially activate anything. And now we could chain to any potential hand trap here. Let's shotgun our Sulfaneer alongside the Tristaros. Discard Smyger. Smyger can search for our trap since we already have the inclusion. Sulfaneer, come forth and summon. Sulfaneer, summon here. We are just going to go into our Sulfador play. Even if it's not summoned through its own effect, we still get to send two cards from the deck to the grave. We already have Smyger. We already have the Sulfaneer, so we could send the Thisfern. Inclusion could be a follow-up, but I think it'd be better if we get another copy of Tristaros and Grave. Just get it better into circulation. We could search whenever. We could also Smyger trap search. Let's just pop off with our inclusion. I've not been feeling any delays whatsoever. So we're going to have a full field here. Let's just grab from the deck a Sulfador, and we could summon if we want. Ideally, let's just whip it out right now. I think what's best is if we could counter Nibiru, that would be ideal. So we are on summon 1, 2, 3. Summon. This is actually summon 5, but but Nova would trigger if he tributed it if we were to play Makaba. So there you go. His field didn't light up, so thankfully that worked out. Cyber Dragon Infinity here. We have our negate as we now can follow up with our other plays. Let's Inclusion. Reborn back onto the field. Our Sulfaneer. We can now set up a Dragster, but first we obviously want to go into the CRYSTRON level 7 Synchro play, and then with Tristaros, we're going to pop it. We're going to add from the Grave or Banishment. I think that this effect and the Thisfern is why this deck is really good with Droplet in addition to just wanting your cards in Grave. Droplet has incredible synergy because we're generally going to have extra cards on our turn 1 that we have no use for except for the follow-up. Let's pop our CRYSTRON Synchro as we summon from the deck our final copy of Tristaros. So our Tristaros can't summon another Tristaros, and that's a good reason why a lot of people play Citri. But at the moment, I've given my reasoning for why I'm playing just 3 Tristaros and no Citri. Let's reborn back our other copy of our Tristaros, and we have a very normal turn 1. Cyber Dragon Infinity. We're setting up the Dragster. Spell and trap card negate. We have Tristaros summoned from the deck, mate. Let's Smiger, search for our trap. We're going to be able to pop cards on the field. This is great. Holy moly. Unfortunately, we don't have any non-engine to help supplement this ending field with something like a Forbidden Droplet, which would have been nice, as we have the additional Inclusion, Smiger, even a Dead Fool loss. Could have pretty much done a full field Droplet if needed. And good luck, buddy. What we want to do with the Tristaros is we want to summon an Excel Synchron and then go into a Baron floor. But it does require the Dragster to negate a spell trap to drop itself down to level 5. Poseidra, Mermail. That Poseidra on summon's going to bounce a card in the field back to the hand. I think I absolutely have to use Infinity, whether I want to or not. Ideally, you're not using Infinity this early, but I mean, that is a board breaker. So we have to stop its summon. Sending Dragoons, so he also gets to search. Let's wipe away the Poseidra. Dragoons get searching. Oh, Tristaros is not going to be good unless Dragster gets dropped to level 5. This is unfortunate. What the heck do we do? If Mermail has no spell or trap, I think we're in big trouble. We have Cluster to pop the Neptibus. Ice Jade ran on top of the Poseidra play. Holy moly, not even having to search for the Ice Jade ran. We're passing. Oh my Jesus. I really need him to activate a spell trap. Literally anything so that I could use my Tristaros. Oh, the Neptibus triggering to reborn the Poseidra, which we negated its summon because it's going to be bouncing a card. Shoot. Okay, well, I don't think we should Tristaros yet. We could Tristaros into an Amatrix possibly to put their monster in defense. We really need to just survive. All right. He's going to go for our back row. If he goes for the Cluster, I think we're just going to be popping the Ice Jade Ran. Level 7 tuner. We don't want him to go into a Chang Ying or anything crazy here. Yep, going for our Cluster. Now, it's just going back to our hand, but we do want to at least use it. Unfortunately, I cannot pop 2 cards here because we didn't use the effect of Tristaros early to go into a CRYSTRON Synchro. So no matter how we chain this, we're not able to go into a CRYSTRON Synchro and then pop 2. On the activation of the Cluster, we have to choose the target right then and there. So if we don't have it on activation, unfortunately, we just don't have it. Let's obviously use the effects now, and let's just take out the Ice Shade Ran, where taking out the Poseidra would have also been good. So let's return back in the deck the Thisfern. So I'm thinking maybe if we Tristaros early just to get the double pop with Cluster, since the Tristaros itself without Dragster being level 5 is just not good. Otherwise, we need an ideal summon with the Tristaros into the Amatrix. Minstrel. Well, lucky for you, my hand does suck. I guess the only unknown in my hand is the Fool loss. We did search for the other 2. We bounced the Cluster, and you're about to find out how great my hand is. We're still not going to Tristaros because we got to wait till more bodies on the field. If I could Amatrix, put them in a defense, that would be ideal. And there's the normal summon Neptibus, which we needed our Cluster for to get poppin'. Being able to deal with the Cluster, oh my Jesus. And having more than 1 Neptibus, once a reborn the Poseidra we had to negate. This is not good. We have Mermail Shadow summoning for the deck. Ideally, you have an Ash Blossom for this effect. Oh no. Amatrix. When do we do the Amatrix? Oh my Jesus. Abyss Pike is here. Did not activate on summon. He's got Abyss Shrine sending Neptibus. Now, he already used the effect of the Neptibus Prince, so we're not going to be dealing with another reborn from Engrave. Sure. Cluster, another Ice Jade Ran. We popped you, and you have another one. What the heck is going on? Oh no, he's going into the Abyss Trite. Oh my Jesus. Why can't my Dragster negate anything, mate? Now, let's look at the related cards on the Prince. Hey, what the heck? Let me look at the related cards. Related cards to Dragoons. Shoot. Okay, related cards. Here it is. Poseidra. Poseidra is going to detach non-target return 3 cards we control back to our hand. So we can't chain Tristaros to the Poseidra because whatever we summon is going to get bounced back to the extra deck immediately. Even a Sam D would not trigger. So unfortunately, we have to do a horrible Tristaros play, I'm thinking. This is our last opportunity. If we wait any longer, he goes into Poseidra, bounce our entire field back. We have nothing that could trigger off of it. Could go into an Amatrix, or we can go into the level 7. All right, let's do it. Ash, okay. All that stress on when to use my Tristaros, using it early or not, and he had Ash anyway, drew the absolute nuts, and there you go. That's the final freaking spell or trap card potential that we could have negated, and he's got none. Holy moly. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna walk away. Just gonna AFK. I'll be or watch a YouTube video or something. We have no interaction whatsoever. He's not gonna have a spell or trap card to activate for the Dragster, and we have no Tristaros with Dragster. The Tristaros just gets negated by the Ash. Shoot. Now I can't be undefeated with this. Heavy Infantry with the Shrine on our next turn. Oh my Jesus. Yep. Poseidra, return, back. Bahamut can't attack, so he only has 5,000 damage on the field. Mirror Mage. You kidding me? He's got freaking Ice Barriers in this deck. Georges. Okay. 5,000. Wait, linking off. Mistar Boy. All waters gain 500 attack and defense. Summon 3 bodies from the grave. He's got 4,400 damage here. Surely he has enough, yes? Come on. 65, 8K, great. Oh my gosh. I could not believe I got blown out by, he had Ash for Tristaros, no spell and trap cards for our Dragster. He had a hard opened Ice Jade Ran, a hard opened up Poseidra plus Dragoons. Absolutely perfectly handcrafted custom hand. No! Wow, you know, if I can't go undefeated, do I just end the video here? Well, 19K. Oh, shoot. We go again. Ooh, okay. We have Ash to counter a Max C or Food Loss. We got Sulfador plus Sulfaneer here. Let's discard our Sulfador. You got something? I got Ash. Don't you dare. I don't think so, mate. You trying to Max C me? Not today. Negate. All right, good. Get that trash out. Sulfaneer, pop itself here. And what we can now establish onto the field is, wait, you got something? Ash, negate the Sulfaneer. Okay, good thing we could play right through this. This is actually not an issue whatsoever. Perfectly fine. There's Smyger and Foolish Burial. Smyger takes up our normal summon, so I'm thinking we may as well just use the Foolish. Foolish is not really going to give us any crazy extra advantage beyond just sending a Smyger from the deck to the grave. Yeah, let's just Smyger banish, search our deck for our inclusion, and then we go from there. Inclusion come to me. What I think is absolutely wild about inclusion is for some reason the inclusion could search for any whoa, purge. Okay, well, never mind. Negate on the inclusion. Dude's got Ash, Maxi, purge. Oh my Jesus. Well, fine. We have Sulfador. Pop the inclusion. What I was going to say is the inclusion could search for the cluster trap if we wanted. We could send from the deck a Tristaros Reborn with inclusion. We could this Fern search for Tristaros normal summon, and we could also send cluster as we're going to add it back with the synchro. Let's just send the Tristaro. Let's send beat this Fern. This Fern search for Tristaros, and that'll be our normal summon. Come to me. Tristaros in the deck. So we have an actual good normal summon instead of just using the inclusion wasted onto the Tristaros. We got our big synchro play. Mad Lad purged and ashed us. All right, let's now add back our cluster. What's crazy is you have the ability to add cluster with the synchro, of course, if it's in the graveyard or banished, or with Smyger and the inclusion. There's so many ways to get to the cluster. Let's go for a Tuna and a Sulfaneer. Yes. Let's trigger our CRYSTRON, and this will be our special summon. We can go right into our Cyber Dragon Infinity play here. Come forth. Let's Infinity it up. Nova, come forth Infinity. And our final play. We have Inclusion, Reborn our Sulfaneer, as the Tristaros here is going to now be simply going into our Dragster. Don't mind if I do. Come to me. This is fine. All right, we have our Spell and Trap card, negate, Cluster Mate. We also have Infinity, negate anything. 3 cards in hand, 1 pop, 1 negate of a Spell and Trap card, and negate anything. So, ooh, Maiden. I am not going to negate Maiden. We could instead cluster, just pop the True Light as soon as he activates. All right. He has wishes. That'd be a great negate for the Dragster Mate. Activating True Light early. Let's just cluster pop it. Get that fool out of here. And we now want to save the Cyber Dragon Infinity for, I think, their normal summon. They normal summon, we Infinity negate. So let's negate the Sage, and then Dragster negate the final card in hand, which, what? That is not a Sage. What the? Neo Kaiser Seahorse? Oh my Jesus. Okay, Spirit Eyes of Blue, we could negate you. Unless, oh, the Kaiser Seahorse is actually gonna chain link block it. Okay, we're not negating the Kaiser Seahorse. Obviously gonna pass to that. We could instead negate the Spirit with Eyes of Blue, summoning a Blue Eyes White Dragon. We'll do that instead. Okay, add your Mausoleum. We're not going to negate the Mausoleum with Dragster. I don't know if he has Roar in hand, so we're just gonna chill. Let's wait. Oh, he's firing it off right away. Not activate Mausoleum. Sure. Cyber Dragon Infinity. Detach, and we're going to, let's just get the Sulfador in graveyard. And just like that, we have our negate. His hand is not activatable. Negate. Oh, there we go. Blue Eyes down. All right, back to 20K after that Mermail defeat. We go again. All right, let's whip out the Millennium Engine. Let's do this. We have Ash to stop a potential Max C. I always have Ash. Where's my Droll? I'm called by Crossout. This is fine. Let's search our deck. Set up with our Golem. We could put the, I think he's maybe has Fool Loss. He would have Max C. Droll and Lockbird. Can't add with the Golem. Oh my Jesus. Let's this Fern, and we're gonna use the effect of this Fern to summon from the deck a Tristaros. So Little Knight instead. I think I'd rather have a Tristaros. Tristaros backed up by our Droplets and our Ash. This is the way, this is the play, and we should now easily survive. Let's do it. Engraver. Okay, we're obviously not gonna use Ash on that, but we can go Tristaros into Dragster, and we can now negate the Tract that he's adding to the hand. We could save Ash Blossom for something else. So what we want from the deck is we're going to grab a Sulfaneer because we do have the Thisfern and Graveyard to search for the Sulfaneer, and come forth into our Spell and Trap card negate. Dragster will be negating the Tract. You have Droplets, Ash, Dragster. What was that? Lacrima to Grave? Diablostar. Ooh, okay. Diablostar set from the deck. We could use an Ash Blossom onto Original Sinful, so this is okay. You have Ash for Original Sinful. Oh, he could actually take out our Dragster through attacking. We could Forbidden Droplet, I guess, protect the Dragster. Oof, you know, I think we should have Dropleted onto the Diablostar instead of thinking we have just Ash for the Original Sinful. We have Engraver Reborn here, but he has no Requiem to threaten our field. This is fine. Yeah, I definitely should have used Droplet on Diablostar. That was an oopsie. Okay, Requiem. Oh, shoot. Now we have to Ash the freaking Requiem. Otherwise, he summons Engraver, and then he could deal with our monster here. Let's negate. Not today, mate. All right. Then we have Forbidden Droplet plus our Dragster. I think we're going to use Dragster for the Original Sinful instead. That is our play. Diablostar going in onto our Dragster. We got to protect it for the Original Sinful. So let's damage step. Sub-step 2. Forbidden Droplet. It's up. As let's just get rid of our Fool Loss. It's dead. Fool not needed. Can't respond to this Droplet. Reduce the Diablostar. All right. Dragster onto the Original Sinful. And then we win. Surrendered. Wow. Didn't even try. Okay. I definitely should have used Droplet on Diablostar, but that's okay. 21K. Let's keep on going. Ooh. What do we have here. We got at least 2 plays plus our Millennium Engine. This is the way. Let's do it. Come forth. Senjin. As we now search and set up with our Golem. Oh, not another draw. Okay, we're good. No draw. Golem. And we'll put the Sulfador in the graveyard through the Wedju Temple. Summon him D. He's at 2200 D. Wedju Temple is here. What does he have? He has something that he wants to activate. Why is he not activated yet? It could be a Thua loss since the Millenniums do not summon from the deck nor extra deck. We have Sulfador and we'll set up the Golem. And let's now whip out the Doom. Come forth Doom. With our Doom, I'll try not to push our own monster back, obviously. And since we already have a play, what I'd like to do instead of the Zombie Vampire is to protect our play with the Photon Lord. Lord it up. And since we have our normal summon with the Smiger, we can turn the Golem before we lock ourselves into machine type monsters only into a Little Knight. So this is great. Super ideal. Let's Little Knight it up. We have Little Knight protection, Photon Lord protection, and now we could actually start our play after building up all this protection. Smiger, search our deck. Come forth. What do you got? You have Ash. Okay. We have our Inclusion. Incluge it up as we can now pop it with the Sulfador. We don't have to search for a Sulfador here, so if this were to be negated, that would not be a big problem. Let's grab our Cluster to add to the fields and come forth. Sulfador. With our Sulfador, we could set up a Sulfaneer and Thisfern here. Activate. Send to the Grave Mate. This could be a good imperm potentially for them. Otherwise, Ash would be better used on the what? He's got an imperm. Okay. Ash should be used on the Tristaros effect. Well, let's just use Little Knight. Little Knight, dodge the impermanence. Not today. So we have anti-monster, anti-imperm. Ain't no way. Completely outplayed. Let's get our Sulfaneer in grave, and we don't want to be discarding the Cluster, so let's make sure we search for a monster with the Thisfern to discard with the Sulfaneer. All right. We also have Inclusion, Reborn from Engrave. We are great. We got the plays. Let's grab... What? Easy win just like that. Setting up the Photon Lord and the Little Knight with the Millennium Engine, that was great. And if you don't have a play, you go into the Zombie Vampire instead. Mill 4, which should mill into a play. 22,000. Can't stop, won't stop. Shifter. Oh my Jesus. Let's just chain a full loss to it, even though Shifter means they probably are not going to be summoning from the deck or extra deck. But why not? Now, Ash is usable even under the effect of Shifter. It doesn't have to be sent to the grave, but the Droplet does. So Droplet, not so good. Barrel. Can't Ash that. And we'll just Ash the Lordy Load. Yup, easy Ash. Just Ash it. Ash negate, mate. We're gonna have to set Droplet to be used during their next turn. Oh my Jesus. He's got a Shifter, probably some Floodgate nonsense. Okay. Smiger can't be sent to the grave to search for Cluster. The Inclusion can search for the Cluster, though. Holding up my draw phase, mate. What are you doing? What do we do? What do we do? I think let's just try to maybe just hold on to the Sulfaneer so we don't lose too many cards here. I make sure I could use my Droplet on Sulfaneer next turn. Let's Smiger, pop ourselves to establish a Tristaros in the field. Tristaros had 2,000 defense, so the barrel can't just easily run over it. Let's Smiger, pop ourselves. What do you got? There could be only one. Chained to my Smiger. Bro, I can't even activate Smiger if you flipped it up early. Well, come forth, Tristaros for free. Damn, you done goofed it up. So because the there could be only one was chained to it, it still resolves as much as possible and then legally replaces a machine with a machine. But if he flipped it up early, we would not be able to attempt to replace a machine with a machine. Yes, Yu-Gi-Oh rulings. So let's see, Inclusion, grab from our deck our Cluster, and with our Cluster we could pop the there could be only one. So there could only be one fool, and that is this mad lad as we wipe away the floodgates with Cluster. Good day to be playing CRYSTRON against this nonsense. Droplet, as you can see, not activatable, but when the Shifter goes away, we will be able to activate it. Now, what's crazy about the Cluster is our cards cannot get banished once it's face up, so it stops a Drill Beam. Ooh, he's getting his barrel off the field to summon another barrel. Sure. Okay. The heck? Dragon Core Hexer. Lordy Load summon the Hexer. I don't think we care to cluster pop that. We only have one CRYSTRON engraved at the moment, or banish, I should say, the Smyger. We cluster pop the there could be only one instead, I think would be more ideal. The Tristaros can't even activate in response to anything as long as the floodgate is up, but we want to find a good moment. We don't want the cluster to get banished by Drill Beam, and let's chill. Now, the Hex Core could be turning on a potential Drill Beam in hand, but he also could have the Drill Beam already be activatable in the hand, so ideally he can, you know, maybe he just sets the Drill Beam, just faked out a battle phase. Sure, okay. What are you doing, mate? End the turn. What do you have, Drill Beam set or in the hand? You're gonna Drill Beam me in the end phase? Are you baiting? All right, let's chill. I mean, he knows we have cluster. You should know that the cluster counters the Drill Beam. We got our Golem. Could make some plays with this Golem. Let's do it. We are going to Golem it up. There could be only one machine, and the Golem is a rock. So let's rock it out. Max C. Shoot. Oh, my Jesus. I mean, we could cluster pop our own Golem, but then I lose my Smyger. Smyger is banished, then goes back in the deck. If we don't cluster pop, there could be only one. I think we just let it summon. Just let it go, whatever. I mean, cluster pop, it would have been absolutely freaking ridiculous. I guess we could have Tribute summoned with Sulfaneer. Tribute set, that is, over the Tristaros if we really wanted to cluster again after denying the Max C, maybe. But, I mean, it's just one draw. Let's grab our Wedgie Temple at least, yeah. Could make use of the Wedgie Temple for the next turn. Wedgie Temple could also, what? Grave of the Super Ancient. Level 6 special summon cannot declare an attack, nor can they activate their effects. So your own monster cannot attack into us. Let's activate our Wedgie Temple to set up the Sulfaneer, another monster, into the back row here, which we will now be able to use with Droplet. And we can send Sulfaneer with the Droplet from the back row, which we also could have sent from the hand if we wanted to. And if we cluster pop the there could be only one to make the Tristaros activatable, it would ensure that he does not have a Drill Beam to banish the cluster whenever he wants. So you know what? Let's just do it. Let's get cluster popping. Now the Tristaros can activate in response to any of their card effects, and we can have some plays. And if we Tristaros, that will be more fuel for our cluster. All right, Maxi just replaced itself with another card. Barrel. Okay, if we Tristaros in response, whatever we summon cannot activate, but it's still fuel for our cluster. You know what? I think I am just going to pass on it, actually. Maybe we could use Droplet, send Sulfaneer to then cluster pop the trap, and then we could go into a Tristaros play that would not get stopped from activating. Runic Dispelling, special summon. Oh my Jesus. Okay, we have to Forbidden Droplet that 100%. I'm gonna pass since the Droplet sending Sulfaneer will immediately turn on Cluster here if we need it. He does have to discard for this activation. Getting rid of the barrel, great. And we could chain Tristaros, then Forbidden Droplets. Let's see what he has. Tristaros, Droplet, we could then chain Cluster onto the Super Ancient. So we do have to directly chain the Tristaros to his activation. And let's now Droplet, send the Sulfaneer. And then with Cluster, if we want, we could pop the Super Ancient Organism if he has no good response. He's got the Drill Beam. Oh my Jesus. Okay, instead of Cluster pop the trap, we could use Cluster to pop our Droplet. Then Droplet doesn't get negated. So let's pop the Droplet. I mean, we had Sulfaneer to fuel the Cluster to pop their Floodgate, but then, you know, if we Droplet sent the Inclusion, he wouldn't be able to chain a Drill Beam. Now the Droplet will not be negated as we wipe it off the field before the Drill Beam goes through. What? Runic Destruction? You got everything, mate. Oh my Jesus. Stops the Cluster, negates the Droplet. Oh no. This is not good. And whatever we summon is not going to be activatable because of the Super Ancient. So let's just get a Sulfador in graveyard through the Tristaros. The Sulfador will be able to reborn during the next turn. We could pop the Inclusion. Also having the Tristaros in graveyard can pop our CRYSTRON Synchro. Even though our CRYSTRON Crystron Synchro is unfortunately not activating here to grab back our cluster. What's good is he has no way to trigger the fountain. That's why he wanted to potentially hold the Runic Destruction. We really forced him to activate it, and we could just very simply grab the cluster back on the next turn. We got like a Baron to floor or something. Oh, okay, he is synchroing. What? Chaos Angel. Oh my, and he's got both protections. He's unaffected from monster effects, but he can't activate because of the trap. Let's go. The Horror Hexer is back, and this is fine. Yes, his monster can't be destroyed by battle. He's unaffected from monster effects. Let's make sure we could recycle back our cluster. I think we also want to set up a potential Little Knight. Let's do it. Senjin, search our deck for another Senjin. The Golem got banished off the top of our deck, unfortunately. Let's now Wedju Temple, set up our Senjin plus another Senjin, and we could now Doom Dragon, which it's not gonna be able to activate, but can help us summon a Little Knight. So now that we have the Doom Dragon, let's Little Knight it up. This will give up our ability to attack, but that's fine. We are going to establish immense board presence here. Can't attack directly, that is. Let's get rid of that Floodgate Mate. We can now activate. Let's Tristaros, as we now +2 additional bodies in the field. Pop 1, then summon 3. 2 from the deck. We're gonna grab a Sulfaneer and Tristaros here, and we can now summon the Crystron Synchro again. Let's first summon another body onto the field. Let's grab back our banished Sulfador. Sulfador is here, and what do we want to send? Do we want to send anything? I guess we could still send something. We're gonna send a Smiger to search for an inclusion. We could also, after the Smiger, just get another inclusion engraved for a potential follow-up. We didn't pop our inclusion on field yet. Let's now Cyber Dragon Nova into Infinity. Unfortunately, has nothing in attack position to suck up. Now we have our Omni Negate. Infinity and beyond. Let's now inclusion Sulfador. Sulfador is going to lock on a machine type only. That is fine. Let's pop our inclusion. Reborn here. And now off of this, we could go into the Crystron Synchro to recycle back the cluster. Cluster is going to be for Floodgate Pop-In and also potentially their Runic Fountain, even though the Huggin can potentially protect from that. Let's grab back our cluster. And now let's deal with the Chaos Angel. Let's first search with our Smiger, grab our final copy of the inclusion. I could normal summon the Tristaros, and we can reborn from the grave and then go in. Let's reborn our level 5, and now we could go into our final summon. I could go Dragster, but I think the Sam D is going to be better for outing the Chaos Angel. Sam D, turn off that Chaos Angel. Sulfaneer can only can't attack while on defense. Obviously, summons in a defense. Negate the Chaos Angel Mate, and so we turned off it being unaffected, only from activated effects, that is, and also the battle protection. So whole body gone. The cluster could pop 2 cards on the field. We have an Omni Negate. We have Little Knight Mate. We got Sam D. We got this. Holy moly, we got this. 2 cards in hand plus the barrel can recycle. We're gonna really want to hold on to the Infinity for the best possible negates. Grab back the barrel. Sure. And let's see what we do from here. Runic Fountain. Sure. We could cluster pop Runic Fountain plus a Lordy Load potentially. Dimensional Fissure. So barrel's the last card in your hand. So we could very simply just cluster, wipe up the Runic Fountain, wipe up the Dimensional Fissure, Cyber Dragon Infinity, negate the barrel, GG, no re, get that stun garbage out of here. Let's return back a Tristaros into our deck. Perfect. Ooh, I could not believe we won that. This is crazy. That's it. You have nothing. Just surrender. Bend the knee. You're done. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Don't even bother summoning that barrel. It's trash. Ooh, we are up to 23K. I think I have one more in me. Let's go. Going first. Don't mind if I do. Ooh, my. We got Crossout and Ash. Double negate mates onto their Maxier Fluid Loss. Let's send Jin. And let's see what else you got, mate. Come forth. Oh, there's the Maxi. So do we cross out our our Ash. If we hold on to Ash, we could still negate a Fool loss, and we could save the Ash as a form of disruption. So let's just cross out Designate it. Negate the Maxi. Not today. Right? Get that Fool out of here. Come forth our Senjin. Search our deck for our Golem. Now, normally I'd want the Sulfador in Graveyard, but we do not want to put Sulfador in Grave here, as the Sulfador works on normal summon. So we're going to Tribute Summon for the Sulfador. Let's set up our Golem. And since the Sulfador is a full play, we're going to want to be bridging our way into the Photon Lord. Let's Widju Temple. It's got something activated on the hand. So what is it? As we put the Fool loss into the back row, we have Ash for the stop on a Fool loss potentially. Come forth, Doom Dragon. Doom Dragon with the Senjin. Let's turn these two bodies into our Photon Lord. Zombie Vampire could be good if we get impermed, and you could argue that we should have held the cross out for an imperm, but I don't play impermanence in this deck. So, Null and Void, Ash it is, as we have our Photon Lord to now protect our Sulfador. Let's get Sulfadorin, and if we don't use the Ash, we just have it as an extra form of Disrupt. Actually have imperm, mate? Come on. What? Kieran. I'm not negating Kieran. Kieran is not destroying itself. Kieran is only a disruption if itself is destroyed. So what the heck are you destroying? I don't care if you Kieran. Volcanics. Okay, let's send from the deck our basic play. We have the Thisfern plus the Sulfaneer, and Volcanics is not negate. Not with Ash, not with Photon Lord. This is not an issue whatsoever. Garunix, the bad Garunix. Are you out of responses? We can now just go full wombo combo, yes? This Fern, grab our Smiger here. That's Sulfaneer, discard the Smiger. Sulfaneer will give us access to our level 2 tuner, into our level 7 Synchro. I am loving this deck. CRYSTRON is crazy fun. Oh my Jesus. Just like that. What a fool. Wow. We are absolutely clapping up the World Championship qualifier. I mean, I should just be playing try to go to Worlds or what? Because we have what? From this video, we have win, 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 loss against Mermail, that didn't count, win, 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 win. Oh my Jesus. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed the video. CRYSTRON's top tier in everyone's hands. Let's go.